Hello guys and welcome back to the next episode of Master of Orion 2 podcast, where we continue to cover the multiplayer game between IR and Bork. It's still an early game, and so far we got Bangla system colonized, pretty good system, double riches and one abundant system. In the upper top corner you can see the current racial peaks. Some notable technologies include auto factory, research labs, robotic factories, sci-fi. We got those last episode, as well as some military tech and with defense as well, heavy armor, fighter garrison and assault shuttles. Looking at IR's racial peaks, it's obvious that his main goal is to out-research the opposition. For now, we'll continue to develop Drago and Bangla systems to develop those enough to produce colony ships and to get enough research capabilities to carry us to the mid-late game. Most probably the next target for colonization would be the Near system at the bottom right corner of the map. There we have 24 population Ultra Rich planet. It will be so good to get. So I feel it is the nearest target for acquisition. As you can see, Bangla 2 system are going to produce that colony ship, but for now it's 55 or so pollution we got there. But it was we got because anti-pollution tech won't be soon. Let's say it like this. For quite a while we won't get any anti-pollution tech. Still a healthy amount of production at that Bangla 2 planet. So in several turns we will be able to buy that colony ship without waiting all the way till he would be built. Yeah, 55 pollution here, quite a lot. Pollution in this case, and in any case, by the way, cloning center and subterranean farms, great buildings to have, structures to have. Colony center allows to increase population growth, and subterranean farm gives you flat +6 food production on each planet it is built. It's great. However, we are reaching the point now where creative race has too much building to build while not having enough production capabilities to do so. This is like a good problem to have, I would say. Some peculiarities of playing creative race which get every research or every technology out of the research field, because non-creative races only can choose one. So for example, in this case, if IR wouldn't be a research race, he should choose between cloning center and subterranean farms. Most of the times a cloning center is picked, because again, population in this game is the king. Because as we already discussed in the previous episode, this game is pretty great in converting one resource to the other. And population, it's a universal resource which you can convert to anything. either production or research or food or money generation. But in this case, IR is creative, so he gets every bit of technology there is. All he needs to choose the next field of research, and he chooses to go at Holo Simulator field right now. Great tech to have. It will increase everything on a planet it is built upon by 20%, which is huge, obviously. Cloning centers are going to be built soon, increasing population growth on a couple of planets, which of course increases population growth for the whole empire, because you can transfer population colonists, as you can see now IR is doing. A couple of housing systems already deployed. Some housing systems get colonists to them to increase the speed to just build cloning centers. Because while housing with a single colonist is the best way to house, building for something with one colonist is not the best way to do so, obviously, because the more colonists you have, the faster, the more production you have. Obviously, this begs the question, why doing housing with only one colonist, one population is the most effective way. Because this is the rules of the game, pretty much. You may get more population growth from a couple of colonists doing housing. However, those increases are really incremental. It's not so big. So most effective way of doing housing is with one colonist, because you get the most bang for your buck, let's say it like this, without overloading you with numbers. And we get Holo Simulator, Dauntless System, and Neural Scanner. All great technologies, and we go for a near system. Bangala finishes his colony ship. It was an obvious choice, because it's the best system in the vicinity. Sadly, we didn't get any natives, like a free population you get when you colonize a system. But it's not like we at a disadvantage, because their position has the same map, the same planets, because a map is mirrored. Half of a map from our side is equal to the half of a map to the opponent side. Alright, doing some optimization, production, food optimization, and going for microbiotics, soil enrichment, research field. Great thing to have, faster population growth and more food, which is always great, because you can see it's like 15 colonists on food right now. And the better food technology you have, the less population you can have on food, the more population you can have on production or research. So food is mostly like a liability which you need to produce a return. And the better your food technology or racial picks, the better you are. For example, you can construct a race which doesn't need a food like at all. There is a racial pick, Lith 4, which allows you to not produce any food at all. And we get a near system. Great ultra rich 24 population, system, why it is so imperative to system being as large as possible. There is two things which contribute to this. First is pollution. The bigger system is, the more population it can host, the less pollution you will have. And less pollution you have, less production you need to clean those pollution. So it pretty much minus to your production. Pollution is like diminishing your production on the amount of pollution there is. So yeah, this is self-explanatory why you want a bigger planet, because you will have less pollution. And the second is a little less straightforward, but again, still understandable. It related to building efficiency. For example, if you have two planets with a max population of 10, combining it will give you 20 population, yeah. And you have one. On the other hand, you have one planet with a 20 maximum population. On the first glance, there are equal conditions. Yeah, you have two planets combined with a 20 population, and you have one planet with a 20 population. However, to get maximum efficiency from these two planets, you need to build twice as much buildings, because you need to build each building on each of those planets. And with one planet, you just need to build your buildings only one time to get full efficiency. So pretty much you need to spend twice as much time and twice as much production to get to the same efficiency as a bigger planet. So this is pretty much it, why you want your planets to be as big as possible. Okay, now we have some freighter crisis, and IR resolves it by sending some population to farming at some places where they mostly did production. It's a temporary decision. When freighter fleets will be replenished, those farmers would go back to production or research. And the next turn we go. And we got macrobiotics and soil enrichment. Macrobiotics speeds up population growth by 30%, and soil enrichment, if you build it, it's a building, it's not a global upgrade. It will up your food production by +1 food for each farmer. Great building to have, especially on those farming planets. It will free a couple of colonists from each farming planet. And subterranean farm as well. Can be built anywhere, produces 6 food by itself. You can build it even on non-wet, as they called, planets, non-fertile planets where you cannot harvest food. You still can build subterranean farms and hydroponic farms there, which gives you 8 food, which can be transferred between planets. So it's all diminishes the amount of farmers you need. And all those farmers not farming are doing production or research, which again propels you further in this game. IR now goes for planetary supercomputer and virtual network. Both upgrades are just phenomenal. Virtual network will give immediate boost to all your planets. Automatically, it's global upgrade. And planetary supercomputer is the next research building. It gives +10 research points flat and +2 research points for each population on production. Still a huge amount of pollution, nothing you can do with this. However, when the near system, near planet, those Ultra Rich 24 Max Pop, this one, would go online, you will see much better results in terms of production. Because it's bigger, there still will be quite a lot of pollution, but the amount of production still will be better. It's going to be better than in the bungalow systems. Okay, I are checking some systems, finding this system with a couple of riches. Small ones, but still with subterranean peak, which improves your amount of population. It's okay planet. And a brief overview of what we got right now for the galaxy. Still the best planets are concentrated at the bottom. However, a couple of systems are worth colonizing at the upper part as well. Fusion drive to speed up movement and transition of colonists as well. Drives are economic upgrades as well, guys. Don't be fooled. They are not only for combat fleet, for freighter fleet as well. And the faster you freight your colonists, the less time they will do nothing. Obviously. Quite a long way to go till this research field is done. However, it's well worth it. It gives an immediate return with virtual network and gives you a next research building, Planetary supercomputer, which boosts your research by a huge margin. And again, as the main focus of this race is to out-research the opposition, it's the main way to go. Okay, we have Commander Hawk, Helmsman +5 and Navigator +1, immediately higher. Helmsman gives all your fleet +5 to beam defense. But it's not the main point of this commander, the Navigator. What matters, as you know, with the antimatter drive and Navigator, you can transition from you can cover a distance of 6 parsecs by 1 turn. Considering most planets or closely located planets have 6 parsecs and lower of distance between those, it gives you a possibility to cover most those planet-to-planet travels in 1 turn. And this is great because it prohibits your opponent reacting and doing things to defend himself. I am looking for distances, reviewing Sengara system, pretty okay system, not as good because heavy G, however with a pretty mediocre system at GMAT or GMAT. And again a brief overview of what we got. Still the best systems are in the bottom. However, they are guarded by monsters, some of those. So I'm curious to see what strategy of colonizing IR would choose this time. Buying buildings, always the right thing to do. Building house simulators, one of the best buildings early game, because again it gives you 20% for everything: money, research, food, and of course production. plenty population right now. And we have a first design, it will be a scout design. Mountain Scout Labs. Scout Labs gives research, so scouts actually provide some additional economic benefits. Always great to have. Scout Labs gifted by default this modification. And Galactic News Network. Our opponent growing in strength because he already has 8 systems. And we have only 4, or 3 should I say. Again, different approaches to the game, different races. There most probably we have a production race, and here we have research race, and moreover it's a creative race. Creative peak inherently gives you much slower start. Because by the way, I are checking some additional system. Great system at beer, pretty colonizable, I would say. So back to the creative ratio peak. Creative gives you a strong ability to have all the research there is. However, it costs quite a lot. It's expensive. It's expensive racial points wise, racial peaks wise. Instead of creative, you can take a couple of additional economics peaks. So obviously in the beginning you're much slower and much weaker than any other race which doesn't have creative. So for now it's expected that opposition would have more systems, more planets, and even in some cases they can have a better, not like an amount of researched fields, but a bit deeper researched tree. However, the more time passes, the stronger creative race becomes. Obviously, because you will have much better technology, much better quality of your fleets, your planets. So you may have your defenses as well, of course, because you will have every defensive building possible, while your opposition will not. It's not possible. Or should I say, it is possible, but with pretty expensive way, because you will sacrifice some things which you should not sacrifice. So most of the time you get 1 or 2 defensive buildings, while creative has everything. There is all the shields, all the missile fighter bases, beam bases, or batteries, ground batteries, maybe even stellar converter if we get this far. Okay, Drago has some spike in production. IR wants to store some production to something. Maybe it's for planetary supercomputer, which will be researched next turn. 1 turn for the next colony ship. I'm curious where IR would send it. The Edith system is the most sensible goal because it's closest and has a rich planet in it. Still like 70 pollution, almost. No, yes, 70 something pollution. Again, that's okay, that's what we got before we get to pollution processor, first anti-pollution tech. And this is not a priority right now for IR. Checking for the production to get the right amount to half buy or to build outright the almost researched planetary supercomputer. And here we go. Positronic computer plus 85% of beam attack. It's not only for beams attack, it's for initiative as well. The more beam attack you have, now the better your initiative, the faster you will get your turn in combat. And you can see already plus 11 food, a spike in food production because of the how it's called, virtual network. And unfortunately we cannot get to Edith system. Simply cannot get there. We either need a closer outpost or colony base or colonized planet, and let's see what IR decides to do. And this is like really poor system. Really unfortunate Pindar system. I think it won't be colonized like ever. Because only some lucky events may change the system you already colonized to a better richness quality. And even if it's like that, that change in poor to abundant is not that big of a deal. The biggest deal is rich to ultra rich. So I think that Pindar system won't be colonized ever. Still, it's not known where IR would send that colony ship. This is the main question right now. Anyways, guys, we're close to the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to end the episode here. And in the next episode, we're gonna see if IR indeed decides to colonize the mech system or not. As always, all the links in the description. Feel free to join our Discord, feel free to tune in to the next episode. And as always, have a great day and bye-bye!